Okay. So I've got Sally Woods from Unit 7. She's based in my hometown in Wellington in New Zealand. Yay. So she's been one of the few clients I've had to meet in person, or got to meet, not had to meet in person, got to meet in person. Anyway, so we ran a competition recently. It was kind of a before and after competition. I did a bit of a sermon on the power of not just before and after photos. We know how powerful they are, but transformation, being able to show transformation. So I asked anyone on our private Facebook group to detail the transformation they've had from before they came into our community to afterwards. And Sally won one of the prizes that we offered up. She was already a 6 member. So she's been upgraded into Mastermind. That'll be cool. Yep, all the heavy hitters and the Cool Kids Club. And anyway, but the entry, I'll show it now, that won her competition. If I can show my screen. Oh, I need to find it first. I'm not very organized. Anyway, while I'm stop, pause, share screen. There we go. Okay, while I'm finding it, why don't you give us an overview of who you are, what you do, and particularly the opening scene of your before and after was a toilet. Right? So you went from. Tell us about where you were and what you were doing, mentally, psychologically, spiritually, financially. Give us an overview.
Okay, so before AMI, so this is my 10th year in practice. Right. So I joined AMI late 2019. And so that was about 8.5, 9 years. Sorry, that's the dogs barking in the background. And I had been working for myself for about 8.5, 9 years. I'd sort of fallen into it because I've had kids and it was difficult to do a really demanding architectural job and have little kids. They were quite close together. So my partner said, just start your own business. It'll be easy.
Yeah, exactly. Think of all the money you'll make.
Great. If it's going to be easy, I'll do it. And it wasn't that easy. And mostly because I'd never had any business training. Even working for architects, we don't learn business training at all. So, cut to 8 years later or whatever, and I get this friend, sort of friend of a friend, calls and says, I'm in a real bind. I've got a client who wants to add a toilet to their house. And we need a building consent, and there's all this compliance, and he doesn't want to spend lots of money because it's just one toilet, and they're desperate because they've got teenage girls. And I went, fine, okay, I can look at this for you. And I said it'll be about $1,000 for the fee. And the client rang me and said, that is so much money, I'm not paying that. I'm going to go find somebody else to do it. And I thought, great, dodged a bullet. And I was so happy, and I was great, I'm fine. And it was sort of borderline rude, though. I was like, great, go find somebody else to do it. This is the best news I've had all day, And he sort of hung up amiably, but going, what is she thinking, asking for that much money?
It's a perfectly good toilet, that's right, yeah.
And so 3 days later, he rang back saying, I haven't found anyone who will do it for cheaper. I'm gone, no kidding. It's because I'm the sucker in this situation. And so I did it, and it was awful, and it just felt like the lowest point of my whole career.
Right.
And, it didn't take that much time. Was it just
a toilet, or was it a bathroom? Was there more to it?
Literally, they had a separate toilet. It was literally squeezing a new pan into their existing bathroom, and there was compliance stuff. And the existing bathroom was tiny, and so they had to then, move the shower over, and it was just awful. And I had to measure up, and it was just the lowest
Soul
point
destroying.
of
This is what I've come to. And
And
I
I
had
just,
to battle for my fees on it.
and I just like, I didn't, at least I didn't put it down,
Yeah.
but, I was just so annoyed. And, they turn out to be nice enough people, but it wasn't enough. I should have, and actually I had already been doing the LCC at that point, but I was like, oh, it's a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever, I won't bother. And
Were you an AMI member at this point, or was this pre?
I think it was just before.
Right.
It was one of the triggers.
Right.
Right.
Rock
And
bottom.
it was just like lower than low. I joked to my partner, that show Better Call Saul,
Yes.
about the really crap lawyer.
Yes.
I was like, that's me.
Right.
For architects,
Right.
So I was really sick of it. It was such a low point, and I just thought something's got to change. I can't make the change because it's been 8 years, nothing's changed.
Right.
And so I thought, right, that's it. I'll sign up. I'll pay the money. I'll see what happens. I can't lose anymore. This is not gonna. It's not going to make things worse by doing this course.
Yeah. And he's a Kiwi. How bad can he be?
That's right. And I'd been following AMI for a while, so I kind of knew where it was going to go. Yeah. And I thought if it really delivers, then why not? It's worth all that money.
Yeah.
And my partner was like, oh, it's a lot of money. My accountant was saying, oh yeah, okay, fine, we'll see how it goes. But in the end, we showed everyone because.
So what did you do? What did you do? So I'll just show the entry here because I've managed to find it now that I'm organized. So share. Here was this was the entry you posted, and that I didn't really know, because when I rang you up to say you've won the prize, I thought it was a good transformation, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't aware that you were actually, I know you would have done other jobs as well as toilets, but you were rock bottom doing a toilet. And you said, when I spoke to you the other day, you said someone else rang you up and said, I hear you're the toilet lady.
That's right. So if you want to find a niche, there's one out there which is just squeezing extra toilet pans into people's bathrooms, because somebody else rang me not long after doing that one. It was probably a friend of the original guy saying, oh, look, I need another toilet in my bathroom. I've heard that's something you can do.
You're good at that's your thing. Yeah.
And I said, no, I can't do it. I'm sorry. You're going to have to find somebody else.
Right. So what do you think was cool? So obviously you weren't just doing toilets, you had some other projects going, but you were kind of stuck at were the projects in general that you were doing a lower level of project, or where were you at project wise?
Yeah, so it would be somebody would call me and I'd feel sorry for them.
Right.
And, like they could, if they pulled on a few heartstrings, they could sort of get me to kind of roll my eyes and go, okay, fine. But it did kind of, and I never sort of rejected any based on, oh, I'm too full with rubbish projects. I didn't reject any good ones, but it just felt like going from project to project. It was getting kind of depressing and oppressive to just, tell people, well, you'll have to wait because I'm on this other really crap project right now. Your crap project will have to wait,
Right. So what did you change? What was the first thing that you deployed or implemented that you noticed a difference with?
So the very first thing, and to be honest, I did this before coming to AMI. By following you and what you were doing, I learned about the LCC.
I see, right, okay.
And so I would usually offer that, and I'd had some success with it, but I wasn't firm about offering it every time.
Right.
And partly because I didn't have as much of the sort of background dialogue that I needed, and I felt a bit scared about doing it each time. And so that was the first thing, is the LCC, it just totally fell into place.
Right.
And although I have on one or two occasions been called out where I haven't offered it, I've just gone, fine, okay, I'll look at it.
Right.
I've always regretted it.
Right.
And now, having done that, it's been probably 3 years of doing the LCC and a year and a half of really focusing on that. Now, even I back it now because I've given so much value to clients.
Right.
And they've recognized it.
Yeah, right.
And so now it's not just me trying to sell it, it's me actually backing it and knowing that that's the right path.
So not only have you changed your process, it sounds like you've changed your mindset around the value of your new process, which is an additional step at the front, the LCC.
Yeah.
But it's actually, you're really strong on it because not only, well, it's good for you, but it's also good for the client. And and it's good for qualifying them too, isn't it? If they don't want to do that step and do your new process properly, then it's like, okay, well, you know, I can't do your toilet.
That's right. So, and the thing about really understanding its value now, because before to me it felt a bit salesy and a bit like I couldn't back it, but now I've seen all of the value that it's given. The price of it started at something like $600 and is now at $1,900. But I'm kind of making a plan to take it up again because that's how much time and value it gives. And clients now that are accepting it are coming back with feedback saying, wow, that was so useful. We didn't see any of those opportunities. We didn't see any of those pitfalls. We were just going to do what we wanted, which was, you know, whatever they'd had in their head. But being able to see all of the opportunities and pitfalls, they just have been able to change really easily.
Right.
And be flexible about how they can achieve what they need.
Right. So they end up with two things. They end up with lower risk and a better result. They
outcome. Really do, yeah. The ones that have accepted the LCC,
right.
Yeah.
And does everyone accept your LCC? And what happens if they don't?
No, not everyone does. And so they usually call and I talk them through it and talk about what they want to do. And then I send them information. I don't usually get them to sign up on that call. I send them an email with all of the information and the terms. And usually about half or a bit more than half sign up for it. The ones who don't just ignore it. And I occasionally follow up with one email saying, are you interested? I'm getting booked up. And then after that, I just let it go.
And what percentage of those ones that you follow up with an email come back and go, oh, yep?
Probably about, I mean, sometimes I don't even follow up, which I know is bad, but often they'll go away. The 15% maybe that eventually come back will go away and just haven't been ready. And so they'll go away for a month or 6 or however long. And then, you know, like 10 to 15% of them have come back, you know, many months later in some cases and said, okay, we really want to do this. And I don't know if it's because they've tried other architects and other architects aren't available. I don't know if it's because they've researched it or if they've just kind of gone, oh yeah, we're ready now.
So it sounds like half of them go yes immediately and then another 15% go yes later on when they're ready. And
having done the AMI 6 program, the difference now is that if somebody doesn't take up the LCC, I don't care. So I used to really care about that and think, oh, you know, what happened to that client? What, you know, why didn't they choose me? But now I go, okay, see you, good luck with your project. And I just let it go.
Right.
And
why can you do that?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I just because I know that they have never been a client, for one thing. They're not a client until they pay money. And if they don't accept the LCC, then they won't ever be a client.
Right.
So it's not my lost opportunity, it's theirs, if anything.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of a much more, have got a lot more strength when communicating with clients now.
Right.
So it's just, this is how I do it.
Right.
You're free to not choose it.
Yes.
You know, I don't say that, but they understand
it comes
that.
across.
Yeah.
They pick that up. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me more about the mindset side that you've obviously gone from a position of weakness by the sound of it. Now, not only your process is stronger, but your mindset is stronger. So tell me more about the mindset that you have now compared to how would you have thought before, and how would you have thought now, and what would you have said before, and what do you say now type thing?
Yeah, I definitely used to be in that I'm providing a service and I need to serve kind of mindset.
A humble servant.
And, humble servant. They're paying me. Oh my God, amazing.
Yes.
They're paying me money to do this, Whereas now I'm sort of like, well, my time is worth money. And if you don't pay me for it, you won't get any of my time. It felt quite mean at first. It felt a bit abrupt and a bit short. But now when it's sort of like the difference between avoiding conflict and being okay with conflict, but not being a horrible person.
Right.
So I used to avoid conflict before,
right.
Whereas now it's not like I embrace it, but when it comes, I just stand strong.
Right.
And say, this is how I need to do it.
Right.
This is what needs to happen. Make your choice.
Right.
It's up to them.
That's it. And how much impact has that strength? How much impact has that had for you? Can you give us an example of, I don't know, some sort of tangible before and after? Well, I suppose what you've got on the Facebook thing is the toilet to the corporate interiors, but are they client reacting? How do they react when you're stronger?
They love it.
Yeah.
It's a big surprise to me. I thought people would be really offended and not like me, right. And all I get is good feedback now. Right. And I didn't used to get bad feedback, but it was crickets, So, but now I get, this is so great. Somebody is taking charge of this project. We couldn't do that. I just, I do the diagnosis or the LCC and put together my fee proposal, and I say, this is the fee. It's up to you now. You can take it, you can leave it. I've been paid for the LCC, that's fine. And they've been accepting them. And so my average fee has gone up huge. It's, probably not every project was a $1,200 project.
Sure.
But now every project is averaging at least 55 in fees.
Wow. What would it have been averaging before?
Or maybe 25 or
right. Okay.
So I've put my rates up
as well.
As well. And I've stopped using Charge Up because first of all, my rate was too low.
Yep.
But Charge Up, I would get punished for doing it quickly.
Right.
And so I thought, well, that doesn't really make sense to me. I either have to have a massive hourly rate and do it quickly, or have a normal hourly rate and provide either a fixed fee or some other fee type.
Yep.
Where I don't get punished for doing it more efficiently.
Correct.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So that is a big change. And it helps. Having the fixed fee, I've noticed it's quite new. It's probably only 6 months old. Having the fixed fee is quite good for cash flow, I find.
Yep.
Which I hadn't considered before.
Well, and overall, what's happened to your business or your life? Because the business obviously has a direct impact on life. But if you're going from 25 grand fees to $55,000 in fees for average project, your fees are higher, so you're earning more per hour. I don't know. Have you bought yourself a new car or gone on a holiday, or are you able to do other things?
Not really. I've got a sort of employee, which is a big step.
Yes.
And so currently sort of purchasing computers and,
Right.
a second person workstation for the office, which
so you're investing in your business.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Plus, I don't really go for flash cars.
There must be a handbag or a dress there must have been something that you've rewarded yourself. Have you rewarded yourself at all?
Well, maybe not yet, actually. I'm thinking, why has this not happened? Yeah.
Wow,
So
maybe you need to do that, because you've made huge, obviously you must realize that, but the transformation you've made in the last, couple of years?
Yeah. It has been huge.
Well, it's put you on a completely different trajectory. So you're on that trajectory, and now you're, the income's jumped and all that type of stuff. You should reward yourself with something.
Well, I mean, actually, it's not true. So part of the reward, it's all business based. Yeah. So I've rebranded, and I got an actual graphic designer to do that, which is really exciting.
Yep.
And they're working on the new website as we speak.
Cool. And a staff member and laptops and I still think you need something for yourself, though.
I need something personal. Yeah.
You do. You do. All right. Hey, that's fantastic. Any advice for anyone who is, I don't know, new to just trying to grow their business?
I mean, I think the big one is don't deliver services for free.
Right.
So, put together a low commitment consultation, however you want to package it up, and start implementing it. And I think the more people who do that will be better for every architect. I don't think that's a bad thing that people are charging for their site meetings and things like that. Yeah. That's the first thing, because when I first started out, I would just jump at the chance to go at somebody's project for free, and so 100% of my workforce would go to do nothing for hours and then put together a fee proposal.
Right.
So don't do that. Get something put together, a package that you can sell as the first step. That's huge, and then it all flows on from there, because once you are the architect or the provider of the service they need, then it's rare that they'll sort of sack you to go find somebody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You get the design. It's yours to lose. The design project is yours to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've certainly had it where LCCs highlighted so many pitfalls where they just said, actually the project isn't viable anymore. So not every LCC turns into a project, but mostly they do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. And what's the next level for you, Sally?
Well, it's the mastermind, isn't it?
Well, you're going to mastermind, but what's the next level for your business? You've gone from here to here. Is there an up there, or is it just hold on to this for as long as you can?
No, I think there's an up there. So I've been doing about 50-50 residential and commercial work. And what I really want to work on from now is, so the residential work is coming in, there's no issue with that. But I really want to work through getting more commercial work through. Okay. That's what I really like to be doing. So so the new website will help with that, because it's very niche based on the commercial work. Right. And that's where the marketing is heading, is getting out there for the commercial based stuff.
Good. Yeah. We'll look forward to working on that with you in the mastermind group. Should be fun. Cool. All right. Well, Sally, you are this month's marketer of the month.
Thank you.
All right.
That feels good.
There you go. Thanks for that.
Yeah. For people like, I mean, I was a bit of a slow bloomer in the program, I think.
Right.
But, and you know, it's like the duck on the water who looks really calm, but their legs are going like crazy. So I was kind of implementing stuff constantly, and not all of it worked and it needed adjusting, but a lot of it worked. And now it's starting to be more fruitful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I see that a lot, because I actually think there is two parts really to it. There's the strategies, which are fine. They're reasonably mechanical. Do this, say this, do this, send this. You know, it's in some ways that's the easy part. And then the other part is the mindset. So it's almost like, you know, you've got the pictures, like a movie, you've got the pictures and you've got the soundtrack. And sometimes the pictures without the soundtrack, you know, if the music changes, if it's still the old music, the scene comes across completely differently. And so while I can give you the do this, do this, do this, do this, I also need you to adopt the mindset that I guess comes with it. And I think the best thing for that is going to the weekly Q&As and listening to everybody talk, and get beaten over the head with the mindset constantly of here's how you should be thinking, you know, and all that type of stuff. And yeah, you can be given scripts on here's what to say, but you actually need to internalize it, don't you? And you need to feel your value. And yeah, that's it. Basically, you need to feel your value, and not only your value of what you deliver, but you also need to feel the value of the process that you're putting in front of the client.
Yeah.
Because until you feel the value of this new process, then the clients are always a little bit on edge, and they're always looking for any wince or skirmish or but if you're calm, confident, I think, and in control, then that gives them comfort. And I think what you were saying, you used to be the humble servant, and then mentally you made a transition to more of the tough love coach, I call it. But you know, you're not there to bully them, but you are there to take them through a proven set of steps that have to be done that way. And if they don't want to do it that way, then they kind of need to move on. But when a client sees that you have a process, you're able to explain the value of that process, and you can feel the value of that process. They pick up on that, and that's something they want to be part of.
Yeah. That's the real strength in the program, is that mindset adjustment takes longer than implementing the program, but it's the goal. Yeah.
Because I've been doing this for like 20 years. It takes about 3 months for the mindset. The strategies, you could roll them out tomorrow almost, but the mindset takes about 3 months to unprogram yourself from the old humble servant, the old architect way of thinking, which is the humble servant or the starving artist, and to start thinking with the new, hey, listen, I've got value and my process has value, and the client's going to do very well if they work with me, and my fees are reasonable. They might be a bit higher than other people, but you know, there's still great value.
Yeah.
And all that type of stuff needs to be, and it does take a few months. So well done for sticking at it and keeping those little legs paddling under the water.
You're still paddling.
Good. Well, that's it. All right. Thanks, Sally. I'm going to stop recording.
Thanks, Richard.
Well done.